Is the Turner Bio Pic in the sky. Dead 2. This is a slow playthrough. Chapter is going to be Chapter 8, where Ted gets serious about sailing. Wired connection tonight, so we might go online if you heard. I'm going to wake up Arthur, hit X, and continue. It's nighttime, so let's kind of do brief recap of game so far. So we are a group of outlaws, outsiders from society. They're all wanted for a bank job gone wrong. They were trying to escape the law in the snowy hills, and they have now made their way down to Horseshoe Ridge. Look out, look. So we have camp there. Some of the last missions I did was we did the, I can't remember, the mythic animal, or there's a, you hunt for legendary animals out there. We hunted the bear. We also got a horse radar, and as well there was a stranger, a mystery mission. You find people on the side of the roads. You can pick them up, usually take them somewhere. More side stories. We had the side story with the circus folk. So we're gonna continue. Let's see where we're at. We are 28% through. Looks like, oh yeah, last mission, the Arcadia for amateurs. There was wolves that were baited into a photograph, and they got a little hungry and tried to seek their teeth on us. Check out the map. So, our missions, we have Kieran paying a social call. You need to try and get information on the O'Driscolls from Kieran. And then there's Uncle. Uncle needs to speak to you. And let's check out these ones. Javier Escuela. Try to rescue Shane. It says LS. Thomas Downs. Visits Thomas Downs to reclaim his debt. Oh, it's Leopold Strauss mission. The money lender. And what's this one with Jose? New business opportunities at Emil Wrench. I believe this is the stealing wagons. So we don't see any mystery people out right now. Those are like bigger. Let's go with one of these missions first. And then we might reset if it advances the game. I guess let's do this Kieran one first with the O'Driscolls. Today, Indy Gray. I don't think you were watching when I've done these before. This is the Ted Turner Bio Pic in the sky. I play a video game and I read from the book Call Me Ted. So we'll play for a little bit. I'll read and then play a little bit and read more or finish the chapter. Have you played or do you know about Red Dead Redemption? Okay, not Uncle. I wanted to go to... Boop, 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 a doop. Okay, I am bad with my directions now. Yeah, I need to go to the other side of camp. Just from classmates, but I have never played it. I see. So, this game is like Grand Theft Auto and many other Rockstar games.
Oh Lord, please end it.
This is set in the early 1900s. So, right the turn of the century, the West is dying, and
Help
this
me.
is a group of
Speed it
outlaws.
over me.
The story's really good, though, for a Western. I am somewhat of a aficionado on the Westerns. I've read many books and watched many movies. So, I can't remember how I did this last time. This is my second playthrough of the game. So, let's try
Please.
to antagonize
You
first.
got some speaking to do of your own. Not that old gang of yours.
I said, I told
He's from a
you,
rival
I don't
gang.
know nothing.
That's what I thought.
Whoa! Hold your horses there. It seems the cat has got our friend here's tongue. I was thinking Mr. Williamson could have a word.
You ready to talk, boy?
I told you, mister. I told all of you. I don't know nothing, okay? They ain't no friends of mine. I just been ridden with them for a while.
Horseshit. You see, we heard that part, so how about you tell the truth? That's what you want me to do.
Hurt him, so the next time he opens his mouth, it is to tell us what is going on. Who am I kidding? One of O'Driscoll's boys couldn't open his mouth, but he'd tell a lie. Screw it. Let's just have some fun. Geld here.
Yeah!
What's he doing? Where's he going?
Oh, don't worry. You're only balls, boy. Just gonna cause you trouble. You know, in Imperial Rome,
Oh my!
was among the happiest and most loyal of courtiers.
No, you kidding me, right?
Of course.
You sick bastard! No, what do you want from me?
Well, you are gonna talk. The only question is now or after we got these little fellas off.
Okay, listen. I know where O'Driscoll's holed up, and you're right. He don't like you any more than you like him. He's at 6 Point Cabin. I'll take you there. Serious. I don't like him. I mean, I like him even less than I like you. No offense.
Oh, none taken.
Okay then, partner. Why don't you take a few of us up there right now? I got this, Dutch. Should be fun. All right, you. Come on. Let's go. Let's both hope you ain't trying to trick us, O'Driscoll.
I ain't no O'Driscoll.
Look, chickens.
You sure as shit was. John, Phil, come here. We got a social call needs making. Where we heading?
We're up into the hills behind Valentine. Well, I'll show you.
John, you take this little rattlesnake with you. Any nonsense, kill him. Sure. You gonna pay your buddies our respects.
He taking us to Combe?
That's what he says. Come on.
I'm taking
Horses.
You. Look, I'll give you more directions when we're close. But if I know where we are, it's up past Valentine.
All right.
Which one's mine? Oh, wait, that one doesn't have a saddle.
Go if we're gonna go.
This is our horse, Radar,
Saddle with an O'Driscoll. Who'd have thought?
right?
How many times
Is this Radar?
I ain't an O'Driscoll.
You sure look like one and smell like... God damn. Smell like one, too.
I smell like horse shit.
That's right. Boy, are you hot. Yeah.
Ooh, spooky music.
Morgan, you got throwing knives in your saddlebag. Doug said that you might... I was asked to give them, and I'm doing you the further courtesy of telling you about it.
Next time you want to give me something, how about you give it to me? Instead of hiding it somewhere, hoping the opportunity comes up to mention it.
Last goddamn favor I do you.
Hey, if I got my bearings, it's over here. Yeah, I know this country. Take this track up through the rocks.
It's been a while. Don't remember how this mission goes. So he's...
You didn't tell me what the O'Driscolls smell like before you asked me to ride with them.
That's because you wasn't asked to ride with us. You was told.
I smell like a stall ain't been cleaned out in a month.
Worse if we'd done what someone's arguing for.
Granted. I was in with a bad lot. I'm trying to make amends, if I can.
You don't know the half.
I do know Colm killed Dutch's sweetheart.
And that's the man you chose to ride with. A woman killer.
Well, it was after he killed his brother. And the way I understood it,
Making excuses for the man. And his crimes. What kind of trap you leading us into, boy?
I ain't. I'm trying to help, honest.
One thing goes wrong. One thing other than you smelling funny, you're the first O'Driscoll will shoot.
Oh, this is easy.
And quit breathing on my neck.
Thank you.
Now we go left. Road will take us up and round. Those are the hills. Head for them.
Save your horses. We gotta climb, boys.
You know, you all ain't that different from the O'Driscolls.
What did you just say?
I've been watching you all these weeks, and,
You've been tied to a tree. You don't know nothing about this game.
yeah, well, I'd say you don't know much about the O'Driscolls. But maybe I know more about you than you know about them. And I know all about them, so...
Tell us then. How are we like those mongrel dogs?
You're outlawed like them? You're out to survive like them? You live rough. You live hard. Fighting the law. Nature. You're out for yourselves.
See? This is why you're an O'Driscoll, O'Driscoll.
Look at that
You're out to
view.
survive. We're out to live. Free. Colm's a sneak thief and a killer. Dutch is
Horse drifting.
more like a teacher.
From where I've been, you just look the same as all.
And you looked, but you ain't seen.
John, shut that boy up.
Enough out of you.
Boys, we're almost on them. Now, who knows if this son of a bitch we got with us is talking true, but if it's what he says it is, and Colm O'Driscoll's here, we can end years of fighting, here and now.
Ooh.
Okay, now cut left up here. We go down the hill into the forest.
We're going in quiet, taking them out as we find them, trying not to set things off. But if we do, we move quick and hard. We settle this like we know how, okay?
Okay by me.
With you, Morgan.
All right, then.
Through the trees here.
Is it a trap?
Hey, we're real close. I'd leave your horses the other side of this clearing. I'll get my guns off my horse, and I'm ready.
Easy, Bill. Quiet.
Let's see, throwing knives. There's the throwing knives. Okay. It wants us to do the mission stealth.
This is it. The cabin's just the other side of this hill.
Okay. Off your horses. Let's go.
You gonna get them knives?
I said easy.
And I got my rifle gun.
Follow me, all right? It ain't far.
We might have shared a horse, but we ain't friends. Remember, I'm watching you every moment.
I ain't gonna shop you now. Come on. It'd be suicide. You'll die, boy. But you'll lose your balls first. Jesus Christ. Just over the ridge.
Okay, get down.
Cabin's in the clearing down there. There'll be a bunch of fellers hiding out there too.
Are these fellas armed?
Armed, drunk, wary of strangers, yep.
And Colm O'Driscoll?
He'll be holed up in his cabin. Be passed out, booze blind, likely as not. And over there, someone's coming.
So, who's gonna tell him we ain't got nothing for the pot?
Oh, let me think. The fella that spooked the game, I reckon.
I'm gonna drain it. I'll catch up.
No, we ain't gonna fall for that. We're gonna wait so you can tell them yourselves.
Yeah.
If anyone's actually gonna shoot the messenger, it'd be that mean son of a bitch.
Yes, sir.
Come on, take it off.
What are we doing about the pisser, Morgan? One by the tree.
Let's get closer.
They want us to sneak up, use the silent weapon. I'll have to get my cord in a second. My controller is running, battery is running low.
I'll be stood guard duty. Sun up to sun down. Soil on my drawers in the spot. Got it, Bob.
What's the plan?
Could have done that a little bit better.
He better be.
Arthur needs a shave. When we get back to camp, we'll make sure to shave him.
Fella on the log. What we doing about him? This one's mine. We need it done right. Go on and show us then. Okay, now what? We're at the perimeter. What's the call? Wait on my mark. I'm gonna take a look at these boys. Sure thing.
Wow. Uh-oh.
We catch you unawares!
What are you hiding out in the woods for?
You and Paul, this is done!
Back to the cabin. Let's make a stand.
Let's push up! You stay here, you weren't lying there, little coat! We got you beat! Clean 'em up! Clean 'em out! Come on, then! Come on! Ah! Run and hide if you know what's good for you! Ah! This is where the hideout! Leave him! Comb's still here. I'll check. You look out here.
You all right?
Sure. Thank you.
The hostage saved us.
Como Driscoll. He ain't here. You set us up. Come here!
What?
You set us up.
No, I didn't.
You did. Como Driscoll ain't here!
He was here, I swear. If I was setting you up, I wouldn't have saved your life.
It's a good point, Arthur.
All right, then, go on. Get out of here.
Hey?
I won't kill you.
I didn't set you up.
Get lost.
Shit, lost.
I'm letting you run away. Now go on. Get out of here.
That's as good as killing me. Out there, without you, Como Driscoll's gonna lose his mind about this.
So?
So I'm
So?
on you now.
Give me a break. All right, then. But I'm warning you.
Oh, I know.
Come on, let's get to camp.
So you got the cash then?
What cash?
Yeah, there's usually some cash. In the chimney.
I'll check it. Rest of you boys, get to camp quick.
See, Arthur? I ain't so bad.
Hey, Bill. You tell Dutch old Kieran ain't worth killing. Just yet.
Right you are.
Alright, so let's go to that chimney. Double-barreled shotgun. Alright, our weapon's clean. Come here, kitty.
At least you got something tucked away.
Wow, $600. That'd be like more than someone's like yearly income. Canned fruit. Canned strawberries. Ooh. Metal money. Ooh, money too as well in that clip. Carbine repeater. See, I like my carbine repeater. Probably buy it. Come find better guns though, so won't worry. Uh-oh, wanted. Cops are gonna come soon. Who saw us?
Yep.
I have quite the record, so we're gonna get out of here. And no, poor thing. Come on. Come on. Give you a radish.
Okay there, boy.
So we get out of the red area, and our wanted level will go down, and then we'll go back and check out more stuff. think that's how you do it. So I put that weapon on the horse, and then hopefully I can go pick up my other gun that I swapped.
Yep. You can rest now, boy.
I wonder if it, yeah, it has the people that you get wanted so that you leave the area. My weapon's not even there anymore. Hey, money clip again. Another money clip. Alright, just gonna go around, see if there's anything we can steal. Another thing, see you? Lockbox? Sweet. Updated. So one of the things that's pretty hard to do in this game, and then that means you have to find every single animal. So look, American muskrat. I've killed one, skinned one. Total progress 50%. Nothing else left in their camp? I guess let's leave.
Come on now, boy.
So we have been streaming for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
In a little bit, let's start chapter 8 of Call Me Ted. Where'd the turkey go?
Yep.
Okay. Cumberland Forest. So sweet. Looks like, what do we have? Albert Mason? Oh yeah, the horse. This is a horse special. Let's go do this. Definitely want to do all the white ones before we go through the orange ones first. Slope relay through. Man, the trees look so good in this game. Definitely this game would probably look crazy on the new consoles. Do the little cinema mode. This is kind of cool. So we have that set path, and you can put it in cinematic mode and watch yourself travel. How's your week been going, Indy Gray? It's Thursday. This week at work I do Monday through Friday. I had Monday off during our kind of winter schedule. It's a little slower. Oh, no classes. That's nice. It's nice to break up that you know, what is it, the word, that schedule, to break up the monotonous. I happy gray. There you go. I am very happy. Just sitting back, relaxing, playing games, hanging out with our animals. Got a little doggy right by my feet and a kitty up on the shelf next to me. Rocket League was a great night. We had so many people that we had 3 person versus 3 person games. And we played late from like 7 o'clock to 12. A good amount of matches. Tried out the Discord chat, which works pretty good. And then as well, separating the chats into teams. There's 2 teams versing each other, so we had one audio voice channel chat for each team. I'm just excited to get more people to join the league. We need 18 players. That's basically 2 players per team, making 8 teams for the 16. Once we have that amount, 8 teams, then we can start our season. Get going. See who is the best Rocket League team. Okay, this is going to be a sweet mission. I love these ones.
So, you're still alive.
Mr. Morgan!
How are you?
Indigestible, apparently. Aside from that, very well.
How's the project going?
Well, this is God's country, and I am his faithful servant. Although perhaps
It
not
is. Look at
his
that
most talented
beautiful
one.
grassland.
I have been trying to capture the grace of the wild horses here for weeks. Only the buggers can't stand me.
That is a silver dappled pig dog.
I know. Beautiful. Won't come anywhere near me, of course. He can smell my stupidity.
How about I drive him over?
That might help. Can you be bothered? I feel like such a blunderer.
Sure. Wait here.
At least this time I doubt I'll get eaten.
Mount a horse. Why wouldn't we mount our horse? We're gonna have to race, so I gave the horse a stimulant. Like steroids, I guess. Oof. Just threading the needle through all those trees. Alright, here we are. Let's go! We're gonna drive the horses back towards the cameraman so he can take a picture.
Get up!
I had a great day.
Keep moving.
I was the only one that could help customers today. The boss delivered an order to a town north of
Want your
us,
likeness taken? Go then.
so he took the day off. So I was the only one that could help customers. But we had someone else working, so I didn't have to help production any. So I got through a big bulk of the mock-ups I needed to do for customers, as well as quotes, writing orders, and everything.
Yep.
You are a genius.
No, but I can ride a horse.
Well, in my world, that makes you a genius.
You're too kind. So how are the photos coming along?
Photos.
Here, I have a print of the wolves. Before they try
They're
to eat
saying
us.
the words very funny.
It's for you.
Photo.
That's real fine.
Wow.
Thank you.
Take care, Mr. Mason.
You too, sir. You too. Now for a few final checks. Don't mind me. I may be at this for some time.
Here.
It's almost like we should do the Jose mission because we're just right there. Do we need to go back to camp? Yeah, we don't have to. Or what? Leopold Strauss. Yeah, that's the Leopold Strauss mission. Nice, thank you. Let's go to the Jose.
Yeah.
Any questions about the game?
Interesting way of putting it, Seamus.
No doubt. I do interesting very well. It's trusting.
If I miss anything or you want to see anything, let me know, definitely.
This is Seamus. He's our new partner.
I ain't no such thing.
Prospective new partner.
After we do this mission,
Liking ain't the problem.
I'll start the Ted Turner Bio Pic. We'll read Chapter 8. Some of it or all of it.
Of course. Look at us. Honest as the day is long.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what. Let us prove ourselves.
Prove ourselves to this clown? What you talking about?
Good day, Hosea. Good luck with your business dealings.
Listen, he's rough and ready and quick with his tongue, but I swear you can trust him and trust me.
I'm an old man.
You're not old, Seamus.
I'm old enough. And you know why I ain't dead?
You don't trust idiots.
Exactly.
We're not idiots. Let us prove it to you.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
Arthur.
Old Bob Crawford and his boys just bought a beautiful stolen stagecoach from upstate. It's in their barn. Now you go get that, and then we can work together.
Who's old Bob Crawford?
An acquaintance of mine.
So you want us to take out your competition?
Well, he's not just an acquaintance, but a cousin. By marriage. I also want to see if you boys got what it takes. Now, you survive that.
Where is he?
Well, he's in a farmhouse just northwest of here called Carmody Dell. It's just up the train tracks as you're heading up towards Fort Wallace. There's also some money in that house, but that's your business, not mine. But don't kill nobody. Folks know we ain't intimate no more, and they'll know it was me.
But you're fine with us robbing your cousin.
By marriage. And yes, I'd love it.
You heard the man.
By
Let's
marriage.
go rob his cousin.
By marriage.
Jose's one of the older guys in
He says
this
the place is just
this
northwest of here.
group of
You're the one who's
criminals.
been out gallivanting around here.
That's what you call it. Oh, clearly you've recovered from your bear encounter.
Could have played that better, couldn't you?
Thought you wanted me here to show some strong arm. That's usually how it goes.
Yes, but you know how this works.
Come on, Hosea. That feller's a joke.
And that's why he's perfect. He won't cause us any problems. A safe spot to fence wagons and coaches, that's easy money for us.
I guess you're right.
Come on, it's not like he's asking us to rob a bank. If the two of us can't steal a stagecoach from Seamus's old crooked cousin by marriage, we should hang up our hats now. Whoa!
Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo, ghost riders in the sky. So you see they have train tracks. A lot of the modern things from the east are starting to creep out west. Oops. Sorry, Jose.
What are you doing? Get up. Come on. Let's see what we're dealing with. Come on. There's the house. I see the barn in the back. Stagecoach has to be in there. Okay, let's take a quick look at the place.
Anyone around?
Yes. Okay. I reckon we can do it now. I'll head over, distract him by putting on a little show while you sneak into the house, find what you can.
Yeah, the game
and
is
get the
very,
stagecoach. Or
very good.
wait until nightfall.
Those grass effects
Sneak
look
in, then I'll
amazing.
get
The
the
trees,
coach.
the plants
You
look
can
so
try the
good.
house. What do you think?
Huh, should we do it at day or night? Let's do it night.
Let's do it now.
Oh,
Sure.
looks like we have to now.
All right then.
I think when I first played it, I did
Don't
it at
follow
night.
me. Wait until I have you distracted outside, then sneak into the house.
It's his cousin for marriage. Make sure you remember that.
My good young man. Very well, very well. Is your father home, son?
Sure is.
Get him down. Please, get him down here.
Get lost, mister.
I was lost. For many years. I was lost many years. Now I'm not. And you know what?
Alright, we're gonna see if we can sneak in.
Here he is. Are you the father of the house?
Sure.
Pleasure to meet you. I was just chatting with... You selling something, partner? Free. Final alignment. What? Final alignment. The Lord God Almighty, whomever built it, put our brains in here, but our souls is in our backs. You, sir, your back looks kind of tricky. Tough. Sure. I can fix that for you. Just 10 or 15 sessions.
Okay, hopefully there's something in this chest.
It's whiskey is this cause of the problem. You ever meet a Scotsman hobble and over? Not the English. That's old. Gin. They drink gin. And what is gin made with? Juniper. And what does the juniper do? Creates movement in the spine. Whereas your whiskey, made with grain as it is, it leaves the spine brittle. Enter Howland Doctor, please. Lay down here a little. Won't take long. When I was worse than you, sir, I was broke. Look at me now. I dance every night. Women adore me. Like magic. Seriously, it's all about the spine. We think our brains is in our head, but they are in our backs too. Oh. I can tell you're very well.
Okay, almost there. Got $33. We need to steal $45 for some reason. Oh yeah, that's the debt he owes or something? There it is. Okay. Jose is good at distracting those guys. Cool fireplace. Gonna leave all their cabinets and stuff open. Ooh, they're right there. Let's not go that way, maybe.
How much will it cost? I'm offering you virility and you're asking me about money. Sir,
I ain't made of money, mister.
my rates are reasonable. Have a think about it. I'll be around this week.
Yeah, a lot of the missions you do in this game, you have to rob people and steal. You're bad guys. So we had to rob $45, and it looks like we robbed $61.42. Did we do it right? Didn't it say wait for Jose? Yeah, let's calm the horses down.
You done, Arthur?
Yep.
Okay, let's grab this stagecoach and get out of here. Get on, dear boy.
Okay, he up. Let's go.
Damn it, they're on to us. We need
We
to get
robbed
out of here.
them, and we stole their stagecoach.
Damn it, I think you should have been more careful.
Yeah, sorry. Must have left the dresser open.
Yep.
You're gonna crash if you don't slow down. So what were you able to lift from the house?
A few bits and pieces. Nothing too fancy.
Well, we need anything we can get right now.
This was easier than hunting 1,000-pound grizzly anyway.
No doubt. I won't forget that in a hurry. Hey, slow it down.
Yeah, he was the person that took us on the hunting mission.
That one round the campfire.
Jose.
It wasn't the first time Mr. Matthews had stared death in the eye. And as usual, he did not flinch.
Yeah, exactly. How long you think we're gonna stick around here for?
Not sure. until we can't, I suppose. Okay, here we are. Just pull the coach into the barn there.
How was it?
About marriage.
Nice people.
Park that thing in here. Quickly. Nice work, Hosea.
It was mostly Arthur. Like I said, coarse but competent.
Here.
Thank you.
Find any other coaches that need selling. I'll see what I can offer you for it. But discreet, you know.
Of course.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
I'm heading back to camp, I think. You coming?
Look at the donkey. Really? It's a horse? It looks like a donkey. Yeah, that's a mule. A mule is a mixed breed of a horse and a donkey. That's a mule. What do you say?
Nah, I'll catch up with you later.
Okay. Stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I wonder if that changes if you go with him or not.
What?
See if anything new is open. So now we can steal coaches and then bring them there and sell them. Definitely we should do a lot of that because we need to make a bunch of money to buy all the stuff in the game. We need to be rich. We need all the money. So we're here. I think we should wait by the railroad. Hop right on the train and then I'll start reading. There's the train right there. Perfect timing. Alright, get our little view right here. And we're going to start the story. Alright, so this Ted Turner Bio Pic in the Sky, we're going to read Chapter 8, Sailing Gets Serious. Page 79 in the book. By the mid-1960s, my passion for sailing grew to be nearly as intense as my drive to succeed in business. This was a time in my life when I was doing everything at an increasingly fast pace. My father had enjoyed fast cars, and now that I was on my own and could afford one, I thought it would be cool to own a Ferrari. I bought a used one that was still in good condition, and while it was great for getting me around town, it posed a challenge when it came to getting my boat in and out of the water at the Atlanta Yacht Club and other places I sailed in the area. I owned a Flying Dutchman, which was just a two-man boat, but it was heavy for a Ferrari. I couldn't see the practicality of buying a four-wheel drive truck just to tow my boat, so I took the Ferrari to a mechanic and had them install a trailer hitch to the back of it. I may have been the first person ever to trail a boat off the back of a Ferrari, and this made for quite a scene whenever I drove down the highway or pulled into a boatyard, but I never minded all the stares and laughter. The more races I entered, the better my sailing became, and As always, I had a strong desire to move up to the next level. For years, I had read about bigger boats in Yachting Magazine, and now, with the company company doing as well as it was, I realized that I might be able to afford one. A friend of mine named James Schoonmaker from Miami suggested I charter a boat and enter the Southern Ocean Racing Conference, or SORC. We checked with a yacht broker and were able to find someone to lease us his Block Island 40 out at Pimlico Sound, North Carolina. At 40 feet in length, she was much bigger than anything I had ever sailed, and I doubt its owner would have leased his boat to me had I not had a partner with Schumacher's experience. After we worked out terms and signed all the papers, Schumacher decided to take off for a race in Brazil. I was left on my own on the biggest boat I'd ever sailed. With Jimmy Brown's help, I pulled a local crew together, and Erwin Mazzo came up from Atlanta to be our navigator. He had learned navigation on a destroyer in the final days of World War II. By the time of our scheduled departure for Charleston, the weather had turned cold, and the manager of the marina recommended we spend another night there. But it didn't seem so bad to me, and I was eager to get going, so we went out anyway, motoring into the darkness singing sea shanties. We made it between the first few sets of buoys, but then somehow took a wrong turn. Thinking we were heading into a channel, we were actually going full steam into a shallow bay. The next thing we knew, crunch! We had run aground. We were stuck in Pimlico Sound, and the wind started blowing harder. Waves started to lift up our boat, and then drop us down, let's start again. Waves started to lift up our boat, and then would drop us down, hard on the sandbar with a loud crash. Normally waves like these can help you dislodge, but that night the wind was blowing us back into the shallow bay, and we couldn't get off the sand. As the waves kept pounding, Maso grabbed the radio and started calling, "Mayday! Mayday! Coast Guard!" only to discover that the radio didn't work. We started to worry that the boat might crack up, and knowing that there was no rescue on the way, we got the life raft out and put on our life jackets. We were prepared to abandon ship, but as little more time passed, we realized that the boat was not breaking up, and we never manned that raft. That was a good thing, because if we had set out in a lifeboat in those conditions, we probably would have all drowned or died of hypothermia. After a rough night, the storm passed in the morning, and we dislodged from the sandbar. The boat was okay, but our psyches were damaged. Everyone is exhausted because it had been impossible to sleep that night. If you weren't below decks, there was a constant bam, bam, bam that was so loud there was no way you could relax, let alone sleep. At first light, we could see where we had made our wrong turns. It was back just a quarter mile, and so we were able to make a quick correction. Regardless, the crew's confidence was shaken. I think Maso and Jimmy Brown may have been the only guys on board with any real experience at sea. It was like I had pressed a bunch of old men into military service, gave them shovels, pointed them to the front lines, and asked them to take Berlin from the Germans. Mazo wanted to make an unscheduled stop in Morehead City to get the radio fixed. This made obvious sense, but given my crew's low morale, I suspected that if I pulled up to the dock, they would desert. I held on to the tiller and said, "We are not stopping at Morehead City." They asked if we couldn't just go there to get the radio fixed and check the conditions of the hull, and I said no. Morehead was a big fishing port, and when we passed the inlet on our way out to sea, it looked like the entire fishing fleet was coming in. Without a working radio, I should have taken this as a sign that the weather at sea might be getting rough. I think that Mazo was even considering jumping overboard and swimming ashore. I was determined to keep moving, and sure enough, less than 100 miles from Moorhead City, we ran into the worst storm I had ever experienced. Winds were over 500 miles per hour, and it was a struggle just to keep the boat from going around in circles. The trip to Charleston was only 200 miles, but it took us 2 brutal days to get there. Maso spent almost the entire trip under a blanket below decks, and when we put in at Charleston, he came on deck looking like someone just released from a concentration camp. The entire crew of 3 left me except for Jimmy Brown, and if he didn't work for me, I'm not sure that even he would have stayed. The next week's race was scheduled to start in St. Petersburg on Florida's west coast, and to sail there from Charleston, we had to go all the way around the Florida Keys. I managed to assemble an entirely new crew in addition to Jimmy Brown in time to start this trip, and while the weather was pleasant as we headed out, we ran into another storm in the Gulf of Mexico. As soon as conditions turned rough, the crew folded up their tents and left all the work to Jimmy and me. I remember one guy who got so sick that he wouldn't leave his bunk. He just lay there on his back, and when he started throwing up, it shot up into the air and back down on top of him. I couldn't get anyone but Jimmy to work up on the deck, so I decided to take advantage of the Gulf's shallow waters by pulling down our sails, dropping anchor, and riding out the storm. I was so exhausted from all that work that I managed to sleep that night, but it proved to be a mixed blessing. I awoke the next morning to find that the anchor line had parted and we were adrift. We had no way of knowing how long the line had been broken. We were out of sight of land, and I was so inexperienced that I didn't yet know how to operate the radio direction finder. The only thing I was sure of was that the wind had been blowing in a southerly direction, and since we dropped anchor in the Gulf of Mexico, I figured that if we sailed due east, we'd have to bump into Florida. We did that, and as the weather started to moderate, we came into sight of land. We ran alongside a fishing boat, and the skipper let us know we were off the coast of Naples. We then managed to sail north to St. Petersburg, and got there just in time for the race. I learned a great deal about ocean racing in that first year. I sailed over 1,000 miles, and I felt like I was becoming experienced. In addition to my own first-hand knowledge, I also learned a lot from Jimmy Brown. He had been around a lot of boats in his years, and he helped us learn about racing by getting information from our competitors. Jimmy would sit down at a bar next to a veteran racer, and before you knew it, the guy would tell him some secrets. Jimmy was a great conversationalist, and given the makeup of the sport, which was very elite and very white, I'm sure these other sailors couldn't see how this black man they were drinking with could ever be a threat. It was amazing how many valuable insights they passed along to him. For example, Jimmy came back one night to say that one successful skipper explained to him that the most people focus on what happens during daylight hours and fail to understand that races can be won and lost at night. I used this information to take advantage the rest of my sailing career. We did poorly in our first couple of races, but we managed to win a few trophies before the series was over. A second place finish in one race and a third in another. In the process, I fell in love with ocean racing. I liked everything about it. Being out on the open ocean, the teamwork, the preparation, the challenges, everything. It really was a lot like running a business. You had to recruit a good crew, and you had to be able to motivate them. From my early misadventures, I realized that when conditions were good, you couldn't tell how strong your crew was. Heading out and singing shanties, everyone looked great, but once the going got tough, the weaker guys would fold. Early on, I figured out that in both business and sailing, it's important to assemble a strong team with talents that are complementary. In many ways, a good sailing crew is like a good football team. In football, you need some guys with brawn, some who are agile and quick, and you have to have a good quarterback calling the shots. In sailing, the quarterback is the skipper or helmsman. He has to be able to look out ahead and make the right calls and strategic decisions. You need the stronger, quicker crew members to grind winches and pull in the sails. You also need an experienced navigator. Today, technology has made navigation much easier, but back then, you had to rely on a sextant and dead reckoning, and the job required a lot of skill. Sailing around the clock, crews are split into 2 watches. While one watch sleeps, the other takes over and keeps the boat on course at top speed. Watches are normally 4 hours long, and 2 teams shift out 6 times a day. I tried to be flexible with my own schedule to make sure I could be on deck when the sailing was the most difficult and the decisions most critical. For example, sailing into the wind requires the greatest skill, so I would try to stay on deck when we were going upwind. I tried to rest when things were at their easiest, but given the fickle nature of weather at sea, I often had to get by on very little sleep. While I had been successful on smaller boats, I found that my skills were better suited for ocean racing. Not only did this sport reward leadership, recruiting, and motivating a team, it also required a lot of hard work, often around the clock, and numerous split-second decisions. The more I raced, the more I got the feeling that this was a sport in which I might compete successful at the very highest level. I decided it was time to buy my own ocean racer. Sizing up other vessels during my first SORC season, I decided to order a new Cal 40, a 39-foot sloop made of fiberglass. We took delivery in the fall of 1966 and named her Vamp X, after the Vamp from Savannah. With a new boat and a season's worth of experience, I was able to attract a strong crew. Everything came together that year, and we took the overall SORC championship. It was the big I'm going to move the camera a second. There we go. Burp. Alright, everything came together that year, and with a new boat and a season's worth of experience, I was able to attract a stronger crew. Everything came together that year, and we took overall SORC championship. It was the biggest series I'd ever won, and I let the success go to my head a little. Privately, I used to tell people I wanted to become the world's greatest sailor, businessman, and lover all at the same time. In public, for the first time in my life, I had reporters interviewing me. The sailing culture was very conservative in those days, and when I was quoted saying things like, "Man, we blow those other boats away," I rubbed some people the wrong way. My crew and I were green, brash, and from the South, and that combination didn't always go over well in places like New York Yacht Club. But we loved to win, and challenging the establishment was all part of the fun. I also had a great time with our crew. In those earliest years, I'd sometimes cover for my lack of experience with an oversized sense of bravado, but the guys I sailed with knew how to put up with it, and occasionally they were able to put me in my place. One of my favorite stories along those lines was a time when we were out on Vamp X, not racing, but bringing her back home from one of the SORC events. We ran into some bad weather, and after breaking our mast, we had to ride out the storm using the motor. As we made this change, Jimmy Brown began hooking up a radio antenna, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm putting up the antenna in case we need to use the radio." I barked, "Well, knock it off. Columbus made it through waters worse than this, and if Columbus didn't need a radio, I don't need one either." "Okay then," replied Jimmy, and he went right on rigging the antenna. An hour later, the engine ran out of gas. Jimmy looked at me and said, "Okay, Columbus, time for you to take over." Thank God the radio worked. We called the Coast Guard and they came and towed us to port. I learned a lot of lessons the hard way, but no matter how skilled a sailor anyone becomes, if you spend enough time at sea, you're going to run into trouble. One of my worst experiences came in January of 1968. By December of 1967, it became clear that the next boat I was having built would not be ready for the 1968 SORC, and I needed an alternative. I had a good boat broker, and while it was late in the year to be looking for a replacement, he was able to find an older boat called Bolero in Oyster Bay, Long Island. That was available for charter. By this time, most new ocean racers were constructed out of fiberglass, but she was built in the 1940s out of wood. She was also big, running 73 feet long and weighing about 50 tons, far bigger than anything I had ever sailed. My broker said she had already been decommissioned and placed in winter storage, but the owner was willing to make her available. Given her age and condition, and since I already had a new boat in the works, I had no desire to buy her. I told my broker to let the owner know that while I was interested in purchasing the boat, having a champion crew race it would enhance its market value. The pitch worked, and the owner agreed to let us take her south. But if we were to make it on time, we'd have to move quickly. Bolero was in the water and ready to go by the end of December, and I got to New York just after New Year's. Our first race would be at the end of January, so we only had a couple of weeks to get her down to Florida. Complicating matters was a record cold snap that had gripped the Northeast for weeks. Oyster Bay was covered with nearly 6 inches of ice. The night before we were supposed to leave, 2 of our crew slept on board with electric heaters, and one of the guys forgot to pump out the water after using the head. Stepping out of their bunks the next morning, their feet slipped on the ice. A pipe had frozen and burst, and while they slept, water filled the bottom of the boat and froze. While this went on, the boat began to sink. Fortunately, this all took place at a shallow dock, and with just 3 feet of water beneath Bolero's keel, she only sank that far. Water from the pipe covered the engine and the battery as well, so once they pumped out the boat and fixed piping, they also had to change the battery and tear down the engine to get all the salt water out. This cost us another couple of days, and as we waited, the cold spell persisted. By the time we were ready to head out, the ice was frozen for about a mile, and we had to hire an ocean tug to break the ice and lead us out. We made it down Long Island Sound and into the East River, but around the battery in lower Manhattan, the pack ice was so thick we became stuck and had to wait for an incoming freighter to help us break free. It was a struggle getting Bolero out to the open ocean, but once we did, it was a thrill. It was cold but sunny, and the wind was blowing out of the north at about 15 to 20 knots. To race a boat of this size would require a crew of about 18, but to get her down to Florida, I only had 6 on board in addition to myself. Bolero was a yawl, meaning she had 2 masts. To race at full speed, we'd want to put up full sail, but with a tailwind and a small crew, I started out with just the mainsail up. As we cleared Sandy Hook, New Jersey, and headed due south, we were going about 10 knots. We were making real progress. The air temperature was still cold, but when you're sail downwind like that, the boat sits upright and doesn't throw waves. In addition to staying dry, when you sail with the wind at your back, you don't feel its full force. For example, if you're running 11 knots and a 25-knot tailwind, you only feel 14 knots of wind. But if you're going into the wind at 11 knots with a 25-knot wind, you feel 36 knots of wind, and you have waves and spray on top of it. It's not to say conditions on board were good, but they could have been worse. For those first 2 days, we had about a quarter-inch layer of ice all over the deck, so it was really hard to walk around. When I leased Bolero, I assumed that a boat of that size would have steam heat on board, but in fact she didn't have any. Our water tanks froze, so for drinking water, we were forced to warm ice on the stove. Jimmy Brown later would say that on that trip, the warmest place on the boat was in the refrigerator. On trips like this one, Cape Hatteras is the turning point. Conditions are generally much better on the southern side, but getting around can be rough. South of Cape Hatteras, the Gulf Stream warms the water significantly, and this differential often contributes to very windy conditions. When we passed the Cape, the wind was swirling in a clockwise direction, and once we were to its south, we faced very strong headwinds. This is when things got really bad. I had been fighting the flu, and another one of our stronger guys had hurt his hand. A third crew member turned out to be a real loser, and was no help at all. We were reduced to just 3 able men, and we had a difficult time trying to get ourselves down as conditions worsened. When waves started crashing over the boat, we discovered that during the 2 months when Boolaroo was decommissioned, her wooden deck and the sides had dried up and opened up slightly, and now she was taking on water. The bilge started to fill, and as it did, we found out that the electric pump was broken. Our next option was a set of hand pumps, but the rubber diaphragms inside them were rotten, and they proved worthless. The water wasn't rising so quickly that we were in danger of sinking, but we knew that if it got much higher, it would flood our batteries and we'd lose electric power. And once that happened, we wouldn't be able to start the engine or operate our radio. Our only remaining options was to start a bucket brigade. As the winds continued to build, we'd later learn they blew upwards of 70 miles per hour. The 3 able guys on the off watch used buckets to bail the boat. That process worked, but it was never ending. If we took a break, the bilge would start to fill up again. Despite the heavy seas and wind, we did manage to get all our sails down, but sediment buildup in our engine caused it to stall, and we couldn't restart it. At this point, darkness was setting in, and we had all been working flat out for about 24 hours straight. Between fatigue and the cold, it was still below freezing on the boat. We finally decided it was time to give a mayday call to the Coast Guard. We radioed their station at Cape Hatteras, where they had one of their most durable all-weather boats. They were only about 40 miles away to our north and made an attempt to come get us, but they turned back after deciding the seas were too rough. The Coast Guard called and told me that a 200-foot ocean-going tugboat had been dispatched from Morehead City, but since that was more than 100 miles to our south, it would take them all night to get to us. As we considered hunking down for the night, the wind continued to roar in from the southeast, and we were afraid it was pushing us right back into Cape Hatteras, which was only about 20 miles away. One of the most dangerous features of Cape Hatteras, in addition to its frequently bad weather, is a shallow sandbank called Diamond Shoals. Jutting out about 10 miles, this area has been called the graveyard of the Atlantic, since so many ships have wrecked there in conditions just like the ones we were facing. As the rest of the crew tried to sleep, I could see the light from the Cape Hatteras lighthouse, and I figured we only had about 3 hours before we had to start worrying about the shoals. I decided I should let everybody sleep, and gathering some strength, then when we got a little closer, I would wake them up and try to raise at least one small sail to steer her out of the way. Fortunately, we didn't get that close. As the night went on, the wind shifted around to the south, so instead of blowing us toward the shoals, it moved us slightly farther away. Through the night, a freighter had been keeping an eye on us from about a quarter mile away. They had heard our distress call and decided to stay close until the tugboat got there. I'm not sure we'd have ever been able to transfer ourselves onto that ship in the weather, but regardless, They were great to keep a lookout for us. Finally letting up, we decided to give the motor another try. The engine started, but it turned out that the ropes that had been tying ourselves was dragging overboard and had wrapped around and choked our propeller. So that was the end of that. Fortunately, the tug made it to us about an hour later. They shot us a line that we tied to our mast for a 5-hour tow to Morehead City. It was a relief when we were finally safe on dry land. With the weather now calm, we had a scuba diver remove the rope from our propeller, and we left the next afternoon to motor our way down to Charleston. We made it there safely, and the following week, with an entirely different crew, Jimmy Brown and I reached St. Petersburg in time for the first race. I will never forget that night near Cape Hatteras. I really thought there was a decent chance that I wouldn't see the sunrise the next morning. I remember taking a picture of my wife and kids out of my wallet, just sitting there in my bunk looking at it. I kissed it several times and hoped that I'd have a chance to see them again. It was the most harrowing time I had ever had at sea, but it couldn't diminish my enthusiasm. I was determined to learn from the experience and to continue racing. I had found my sport, and nothing was going to stop me now. Alright, that was Chapter 8 of Call Me Ted. How is it going? So, good old Teddy Turner, a big boat guy. Okay, where are we? Looks like we're by our camp, huh? Yes, we are by our camp. Okay. Alright, let's head to camp. That way, Arthur can get a shave. Where is our camp? Yeah, it's right there, right? Horseshoe Overlook. Yep. Oh, our horse is on the other side. So since it's an hour 24 seconds, I'm gonna get Arthur headed on his way there, and I'm gonna take a quick break. So I'll just leave it here, and I'll return in a moment. Alright, I am back. So, we're gonna go back to our camp. Once Radar gets here. Radar is at a whistling range? Oh no. Where are we?
That horse got to?
Where's that horse gone to? What was that? Oh, I got some stuff here. Some yarrow. Let's eat some. Part of the game is also gathering things, hunting resources. Uh-oh, something bad's coming this way. It's probably bounty hunters. Yep, bounty hunters. Yep, I only have knives and my gun. This is gonna be interesting. Okay, weird. They're going down below. Okay. Hiding from the bounty hunters. Those scary bounties. Ooh. Arthur. See, are they gonna come back? I don't know, they're just hanging out there. I am a sitting duck without my horse.
That horse don't listen.
Alright, we made it to camp. Lucky. We are lucky we made it to camp.
Mr. Morgan. Mr. Morgan.
Yes, Miss Grimshaw.
One of the girls saw that friend of yours, Mary Gillis, sniffing about.
Mary?
Yes. I never liked that woman, Mr. Morgan. Funny business.
Susan's the oldest woman of the posse. The group of outlaws. Let's contribute to camp. Give him $100. And also, There's the ledger. One of the things is to buy all the items for the camp. So, what is it? Like the lodging stuff. So one of the things is we got the chicken coop. Let's get... So the extra gear, the leather working tools, let's get that. Pearson can now craft upgrades for your satchel. That's one of the missions this playthrough is to get this all the satchels and stuff. So alright, we got that done. Did a mission or two. Let's get a good clean shave for our character Arthur Morgan. Let's see, do we have any pomade? Nice.
Arthur.
I don't want to do a mission with you, Dutch. I don't like Dutch. Let's check out the map. We're not online. We're not going online yet. So yeah, at this point, it wants us to do this money launder one. Or not, the money lender, Leopold Strauss. There's one for Ognout from Dutch if they found a buyer for their stolen bonds yet. Oh, letter we loved once and true. This is a past love of Arthur. So I think last time I wasn't able to do a mission before it moved. Dutch told us to try and rescue Sean from the bounty hunters holding him in Blackwater. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Let's save the game and we're gonna try to go online. See if it works with this wired connection that I have now into the PlayStation 4. Pew. So only 10% of the story. Alright, this is the moment of truth. If the connection gets disconnected, thanks for tuning in, Indie Gray. If you're watching the stream later saved on Twitch or YouTube, please go to our website, pizzalife.us. On the website front page, there's a plate with our Discord link. Join the Discord, play games with us. Let's play games, have fun. Online, here we go. Let's test it out. And now it loads. we go. It's loading up. All right, 80%, 90. We still got the stream going. It looks like the wired connection's gonna work. Cool. All right, here's my character. This horse is Tabitha Pillow.
Evening, mister.
Gonna be out of supplies before too long.
Hello. Oh, I'm dead. Hello, Indy Gray.
Just what the hell you think you're doing? Smartest move you made today. Good. Best we leave it here.
Bringing in this corpse to see if it's a bounty. Yes, I am.
I got to say thanks for that last job, if I haven't said it already. Alright, this one's pretty simple. Wagon train needs to get down to Thieves' Landing. Want someone mean to scare off the bandits. You all mean enough for that kind of work? I think you might be. Come on and meet them.
Loading.
Hell of a ride today.
It's hard riding, but it damn sure beats wasting away in some honky-tonk.
Happy Friday, Junior. Indy Gray? Friday, Junior.
Place like this, get even old Scratch to give God some thanks.
Is it Friday there? Riding shotgun.
Thanks.
Hello.
Not bad.
One more drink. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Chesapeake Bay Retriever. This breed of dog, with its distinctive wavy coat, is commonly found on ranches and in towns across the states. It's an intelligent breed, loyal and protective. Kitty! Kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Oh, internet connectivity. I might get booted. Nice, perfect shot. Alright, let's sell these things and play a different game.
Can I help you? Seen a lot of that lately, but they always move. Done. I'll take it, but I've already got too many. Seen a lot of that lately, but they always move. I'll take it, but I've already got too many. Let's do it. Thanks again.
Alright. Let's switch the game.